They missed again. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Proclaim Liberty channel where liberty is proclaimed. Listen, they missed again, folks. I'm going to go ahead and show you some reactions here, but I want you to look at the full clip of this video and tell me what your thoughts are. Without further ado, here we go.
This just in, and we will show our viewers. This is body camera footage from the Martin County Police Department. You'll see this during the arrest. Now, we heard from Martin County that they did not have dash cam. However, they did, in fact, have body camera footage from the officers conducting the arrest of Ryan Ralph. Let's watch.
Driver, take 2 steps to your right. Take 2 steps to your right. Driver, walk straight back. Keep walking. Keep that low.
Now, you saw there the suspect had his shirt over his head, Paul. He does seem to be calm in demeanor, which is a bit odd given the circumstance. What do you make as you watch that?
So that was something called a felony car stop, which you're allowed to do procedurally, legally, et cetera, which is you have indicia of a serious felony. They ran it correctly. You stay off, you triangulate, you tell him what to do, he gets out. In New York, it's a little different. The guy gets on his knees, you put his hands behind his back. But the bottom line is they were being super, super cautious. Relative to his demeanor, very clearly, he's not that surprised. You know, if this happens to you or I, you're freaked out, right? What the heck's going on here? He doesn't seem very surprised to see that they're on him. They got him pretty quickly. And I do think, just to close the loop, you know, go out on a limb here a little bit, I do think at some point this guy's going to start to talk. Because that's why people like this do this kind of thing. This is how they talk to the world. So may wait till a trial, and he'll make it a show trial, but at some point, we'll start to hear him chirping up.
Yeah, Harrison, it was during your hour when we heard from the Martin County Sheriff, and he said there were no helicopters in the air. They were able to detain this individual via car, but it's 40 miles, more than 40 miles from where this happened. It's really a miracle. There was a bystander that got the license plate, and then this.
Yeah, he also said that, you know, pretty thick traffic on a Saturday, and that it was, you know, thank God, by the grace of God, that they would even catch that particular vehicle, that car. And he wanted to give.
It's like we say all the time. You see how the bystander was actually able to help the cops, to help the sheriffs? That's what needs to happen in each of these counties. It wouldn't have happened that quickly without we, the people. Let's continue.
Give all credit to those road cops who were on the ground going to get him. You know, the drones, the helicopters, those are also another thing that I've often wondered about. When do those get deployed? Would they have gotten deployed near the house, near the golf course? Would they be deployed with the search, that sort of thing? There are a lot of questions. We have a lot of technology. All we ever talk about is, you know, the energy-sucking artificial intelligence and how it's going to ruin everybody's lives. Are there ways that we're not using it right now? Face recognition for moving vehicles, that sort of thing. These guys were heroes to catch him. They were out on mile 110, I think is what Sheriff Snyder said of Martin County. But could we be aided by some of that technology that we say we're so afraid of? We better game everything we have.
Emily, and you wonder about the psychological profile of someone like this. He's calm at a moment when most people would be frantic. He's laughing in court today with his lawyer, seems to be almost jovial from what is being reported. You know, we need to understand where someone just breaks and can act this calm in a situation like this.
Well, at a minimum, he has inappropriate affect, obviously. We know that he was known over 100 times, 100 incidents in the North Carolina county that he resided in for quite some time. I'm exhausted by saying he was known to law enforcement, and I know Americans are too. And certainly in this specific situation with a second assassination attempt on a former president's life. And I wonder, Paul, just tactically, without giving away trade secrets, but talk to us about the fact that law enforcement knew AK-47 was in that vehicle, and yet I noted that one SWAT guy's gun wasn't pointed out. Talk to us about how that played out there.
Bob, it's hard to see who's where here in that video, so I don't say he may already know that the guy is secure. Generally, you get him out of the car, you walk him backwards, and you make him face away from you so you can't see what he's doing. He can't see what you're doing.
Right.
He goes on his knees, hands behind his back, then you approach from two sides like this. The whole point of it is that you see everything, he sees nothing. So it's hard to tell from that video, but somebody, I can guarantee you, in light of what had happened and what they found at the scene, was trained on him in case he had some tricks up his sleeve. And then, of course, they got to clear the car.
Yes.
So.
And Martha, I mean, he has his shirt over his head. I'm not sure what he was trying to do in that moment. It all is quite odd.
Yeah, well, he failed in his mission, but he was still smiling. He seems to like the attention that he's getting, and he has been trying to get attention for years. I just want to point out one other thing about where he was. You know, when they say 300 to 500 yards away from the president, but he was waiting for the president to get right in front of him. That's why his camera was lodged in that fence, because the advance man went a hole ahead. So he was waiting for that moment when the president would be playing golf right in front of him. So this was a very, very particular plan. This guy's been working on this for a long time. Who knows? He may have been lying in those bushes weekend after weekend. And yesterday he got lucky. And thankfully, President Trump got lucky again, too.
You know, Emily, and one thing Martha said is really important, that he wanted attention. We're learning more and more about his efforts to go to D.C. and be in front of Congress and meet with lawmakers even. He's not talking now, but to Paul's point earlier, it doesn't mean he's not going to talk in the future. This guy clearly wants attention, notoriety.
And in the past, he had made very public comments over and over again about, for example, the situation in Ukraine. I note that the most frightening people often are those that have nothing to lose. And this individual strikes me as exactly that. He had his mission, he had his purpose. It was his self-defined mission and purpose. But at the end of the day, he didn't have a family that he was coming home to. He didn't have assets. He has nothing to lose. And that is what makes him so dangerous, because he's willing to risk it all.
He reportedly has children, though. And again, we're just
but
collecting all of these
home,
details
I mean,
in the home. That is
Yes.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to point this out. If, in fact, he had a list of lawmakers that he met on Capitol Hill, we got to regame how we protect all of our lawmakers now.
Yeah.
I mean, if this guy was having any kind of a meeting more than once or twice with some lawmakers on Capitol Hill and nothing about him flagged, like that one reporter this morning, we've got Newsweek who's interviewed him, people who were kind of red flagged by, well, he was weird and he was, you know, some things about him that maybe would want to make you question, particularly if he's sitting next to an elected leader. So I just want to know, how deep did it get on Capitol Hill that he was around people who were elected leaders? And did anybody just raise their hand and say red flag with this guy? Because I think we've got to regame that whole, have access to everybody. It's tough.
He was a lone gunman from North Carolina and Hawaii. And gosh, can you imagine if it was an Iranian asset or someone sophisticated? All right, more Outnumbered next.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagna.
Unbelievable. So he was able to get that close, but he was stopped. Folks, we've got to do our part. Just like that bystander did their part, we got to do our part to organize against nefarious organizations. And I'm just going to leave it at that, okay, that are against us. You and I both know that the government, you know what I mean, okay? Some of these things, some of these assets have been weaponized against the American people. So that's where we come in and we act as a body to make sure that the government knows, hey, you stay over there and we will stay over here. Folks, if you need someone to contact you about how you can start a chapter, about how you can help set America free, don't hesitate. Go to jbs.org. You can actually find a field coordinator near you, and we'd be happy to help you. God bless you. You take care.